The most famous action adventurer is back with a brand new game. Indiana Jones returns in 2024 as an Xbox exclusive? Uh-oh. That's right, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle by Bethesda, the people behind last year's, well, game, a Starfield, has been hard at work on an Indiana Jones game for some time, and the internet hates it. Me, I have a wait-and-see attitude because I enjoy Indiana Jones games. I've played a lot of them over the years. A lot. And most of them were pretty decent. The Emperor's Tomb was good, but I really did enjoy elements of the Staff of Kings. Now, what's interesting to me is with this whole whip mechanic that Bethesda is, kind of parading around, it reminds me of a lot of what the whip mechanic was supposed to be in Staff of Kings if they had the budget, as well as, how the fighting works and stuff like that. In Staff of Kings, you could actually use the whip originally to, take weapons out of bad guys' hands. You could aim at their legs or their neck, and Indy would have a different animation based on, how that all played out. Now, of course, that didn't really happen for the Wii game. It kind of was like a waggle fest. It was still fun, don't get me wrong, and sometimes the whip would work, to trip somebody up or grab them by the neck, but for the most part, felt like the same whip animation. And also, you could use your whip to help with, navigating Indy around places and swinging on stuff and things like that. But, I mean, you could tell by the alpha footage, which I dare not show, that they really had a lot of intricate uses for the whip, and it really never made it past the drawing stages, we'll say. Some elements were in the Wii game, but not so much. It went down in history as a waggle game, but I believe Staff of Kings came to another system, and it wasn't just a Wii exclusive, but again, that's way too long ago for me to remember. An Emperor's Tomb was, your traditional kind of grandfather game to the Uncharted series, I believe. I'm pretty sure that game predates the PS3 Uncharted games, but, I don't really play enough of Uncharted to know, but I do love Uncharted. I did the remastered, and I also played all the way through the fourth one, but I didn't look at the sequel that didn't star Nathan because it didn't feel the same to me. So, what is going on with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle? Well, for one, the game takes place before the Last Crusade. So it's the setup before we get to Junior and Indy working together again. It'd be great if his father shows up, but most likely that's not going to occur. That makes me very sad. But Indy, once again, will be fighting the Germans because, well, Hollywood doesn't like those guys. My big thing that I hope Bethesda does, which, maybe they'll do this for a period game, but since this takes place in the 1940s and stuff, I don't want them to see them incorporating modern elements or modern society problems that we have in the 2020s. So it would be good to focus on, fighting the Germans and dealing with the politics of the day, because that's what makes Indiana Jones so special. The Dial of Destiny, unfortunately, incorporated a lot of, we'll say, modern ideas, and, it wasn't very good. I finally got around to watching the Indiana Jones movie, and one of my biggest takeaways with the movie is the fact the dude gets hit in the face with a sign, over the side of a train, and he doesn't die. Not only that, he has no disfiguration at all. Literally, in the first Indiana Jones movie, when the German guy grabs the medallion, he has it imprinted on his hand. So it showed some kind of damage was done. In Disney's Indiana Jones, they're almost like cartoon characters that Indy gets shot so many times that he's just fine. Whereas Indiana Jones gets shot and stabbed in his original Steven Spielberg trilogy, and, the guy took some battle damage. So, I mean, I really hope that they keep the Great Circle about what goes on in that time period, because I love period pieces, but I want them to reflect the times. That means the attire, that means the language, that means the culture. Everything that was going on in the 1930s and 40s needs to be incorporated in the game, and nothing that's happening in the 2020s needs to appear at all in an Indiana Jones game. What I would like to see in the Great Circle is a cameo or some type of appearance of Short Round. I know I'm just spitballing here, but Short Round was one of my favorite characters, and even though Harrison Ford is not reprising his role as Indiana Jones, that's Troy Baker, which we'll save that for later because I have to say, Troy does an amazing job, and I'm kind of on board with this. But no, I would really like Short Round to come back, even as just kind of like a cameo, or maybe be Indy's driver, like, because he's going to be going all over the world like Indiana Jones is. He's going to be traveling to a lot of different places we've seen, and even had in the Indiana Jones novelizations over the years. So that's cool. It would just be cool to have Short Round pop up, because the last time we saw him was the Temple of Doom, and he was like a little kid, and before the events of the Last Crusade, he would probably be at least a teenager, maybe a little bit older. So that would be cool. More driving vehicles would be kind of cool. Even though it's like in the whole first-person mode, I think it would be nice to see Indiana Jones and his famous chase sequences, like driving a car and, you know, having to deal with Germans. There looks like there's an airplane chase scene, which we had in the trailer, which looks awesome, don't get me wrong. But nothing beats the classic, like, Indiana Jones, like, leaping from vehicle and dealing with bad guys. That is a staple. The chases are always important to Indiana Jones stuff, and we need to see that. From what I've seen of the whip combat, I've seen it before. It's been promised before. I hope Bethesda pulls it off. I know some people are like, well, I don't really want to do the whip to do this stuff. It's like, be quiet. You know, go touch grass, because that's what Staff of Kings was supposed to be about. And I love when all these people are complaining about elements of the Indiana Jones game, not realizing that a lot of this stuff that people don't like on Twitter was always going to appear in previous Indiana Jones games. The technology just wasn't there. As well as, I love the fact that Indiana Jones actually has, like, some damage done to his knuckles after he punches people repeatedly. That's kind of neat. You don't really see that very much, so I really hope that that pans out for Bethesda. At the same time, yeah, I don't like the whole first-person mode either, because it's cool to see Indiana Jones, to see what he's wearing, the jacket, the fedora, all that good stuff. When you just kind of have him zoomed in like that, it's like you're playing Doom or Half-Life or some other old game that most of you probably won't even know what I'm referencing. And I know that every once in a while the camera will pan out and you'll be able to see like cutscenes with Indy, but I don't think that's the same. Maybe if there was like an option where the players could have like first-person mode and third-person mode, that would be ideal. But, I mean, that's just me. Now let us talk about Troy Baker's pretty much amazing performance that I've heard for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. He is taking over from a role that was once held by Staff of Kings Indiana Jones, John Armstrong, who actually was a great Indiana Jones, and the only problem that I had with him is he didn't quite sound like Harrison Ford, but he was the voice of Indy and Han Solo for most of the 2000s. He was replaced by another gentleman for The Emperor's Tomb, but I don't really remember who that is. Of course, John took over the role of Indiana Jones from Doug Lee, who was the guy in the Atlantis game, Indiana Jones, like point-and-click game, as well as the Infernal Machine, which was a pretty popular PC, N64, and PlayStation Indiana Jones game, which took place during the Cold War or the 1950s, and Doug did a pretty good job. I would say that from what I've heard of Troy Baker's performance of Indiana Jones, it sounds like a mixture between John Armstrong and Lee, so it's not quite Harrison Ford, but it's pretty close. And again, both guys played Han Solo and Indiana Jones, respectively, for the times that they were Dr. Jones and Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, of course, is way too old to reprise his role, and I'm glad that they didn't do AI and they actually hired a voice actor. So I'm really curious to see what Troy will do with the role. And Troy also appeared in the Uncharted games playing, I believe, Nathan Drake's brother, so it's all good. We have Troy playing the lead role this time around for the adventurer guy. And, you know, I'm excited about this. This is a game that I wasn't expecting to come out in 2024. I knew it was in development. I knew Bethesda was the one working on it, and I've been waiting to find some information about it. And the day that I happen to be sleeping all day, that's the day they decide to take the game out of the museum and, you know, show the exhibit to the world. And the world has a mixed reception with it. And, you know, that's totally fine. But it is probably one of my most anticipated games of this year, next to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And, you know, I hope it's good. I really do, because I love Indiana Jones. I don't like what Disney did with the character, and I hope Bethesda can do justice to the archaeologist that everyone used to love. And I grew up with Indy, and I really want to see him done well and in a video game again, because most of his video game adventures were pretty good. but I want a amazing, iconic adventure for Dr. Jones. And maybe short round. But anyway, now I want to hear from you guys and gals. How do you feel about The Great Circle? Do you think it's going to be a great game? Are you bummed the fact that it's both first-person viewed and Xbox only? Let me know in the comments section below. I will say, if the game, you know, definitely is only coming to Xbox, maybe there's a possibility to be part of a Xbox Game Pass. You never know. Because, I mean, that's always a pretty big incentive to pick up a game. Like, oh, yeah, totally, I can get into this because if I already have Xbox Game Pass, I don't pay anything additional for it. But at the same time, I really, really want it to be good. Disney's track record with Indiana Jones is not the greatest. Some people say that Steven Spielberg's, you know, last movie with Shia LaBeouf was bad, but I mean, Disney's Indiana Jones offering turned basically Indy into Luke Skywalker from his last two appearances at Star Wars. Like, he's just a grumpy old man full of regrets, drinking blue milk, in this case alcohol, and he's just not the hero that anybody remembers Dr. Jones being. I don't know. It's just kind of like, well, I mean, it's kind of typical. Disney brings back your favorite characters and they basically nuke them. They just want to tear down an original character's legacy and love that fans have for them and just, like, you know, bring them back one last time to just kind of destroy them. And it's sad. So I hope Bethesda is able to bring justice back to Dr. Jones and respect to the character. And I really, really hope the game is good. But you can look forward to me covering the game when it comes out later this year, we hope. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. And if you want to check out more of Indiana Jones, I played the Staff of Kings on this channel live a little while ago, I believe for its like 15th or 20th anniversary, I don't remember. So you can check out the link below for more on Staff of Kings. The game is also available on Wii and I believe Xbox, so you can kind of find that for yourself. And Emperor's Tomb is really good too. I didn't get a chance to look at it on stream, but who knows, maybe to hype up the new Indiana Jones game later this year, we'll play Emperor's Tomb. If that's something you want to see, let me know. See you guys live later tonight with a new mystery game called Another Code Recollection. Alright guys, God bless and happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share this video with 5 of your friends, and then share it with 5 more of your friends, because as a Shadowban channel, we can use all the help we can get from you, the amazing viewer. Bye-bye.
You have any idea how old that was?